We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to a special Wednesday night edition of Vikings Uncensored. Of course, we come in early this week due to the Vikings playing the San Diego Superchargers of Los Angeles Thursday night football tomorrow night. So,
gotta shout him out. New guy in here, Kurt. Hello, welcome to the show. As well as all the original G's out there.
Yes,
as well.
Drew's here, Ryan's here, Norris is here. Ruby even makes an appearance. Toons is in the house tonight. So welcome everybody as always.
I hate these fucking streaming services nowadays. Like, whatever happened to the good old days where you could just turn on cable television and find your game and not have to worry about what streaming service you have to fucking subscribe to this week?
Because everybody cut the cord because it was getting too expensive, but now you have to have 87 streaming services, which basically equates out to the $150 you paid for Dish Network before. So.
Yeah, I hate it. There's no other time this year I would have Amazon Prime, but now I'm forced to go get it tomorrow if I want to watch the game.
Yeah. See, I have Prime because living out in the fucking sticks where I order a lot of shit off of Prime, so I just don't have I hate shopping, so I can just have it sent to my door if I don't need it like immediately and that kind of stuff. So I've had it.
I'm almost tempted to find my way to watch the game tomorrow night without having to get Amazon Prime, if you know what I mean. But then again, you're dealing with streams that are cutting off or whatever. I got K-Fan on my phone, so if I want to, I could always go the radio route. But that's just not the same, you know. So yeah. I just hate it. It's stupid how they do that, where they make you get a fucking streaming service just to watch your team play. It's ridiculous.
No, okay. I got to go back up here and put that one comment that Drew put. We'll put.
Yeah, that's one. Yeah, I heard you laughing on the other side as the intro was going. Yep, that's exactly what I was giggling at too.
Yeah, I figured as much. So we need to put that up there. Vikings need a big win. Absolutely.
We do. We needed a big win on Sunday, but
yeah. Well, and there's plenty to talk about. But before we get into this, I have to go on a Rhinos rant real quick.
By all means, the floor is yours.
I mean, I know we haven't done that show this year just because I don't have time, but I got to bring this up because it pissed me off when I saw it. There's certain people who call themselves Vikings fans who I am absolutely fucking embarrassed to have them associated with this team. I don't know if you guys saw the stuff that came out on Monday. Isaiah Rodgers was the target of some very disgusting and vile tweets on Twitter X and other social media. I mean, the guy has been, and before I get into that, I mean, the guy has been one of the best defensive players on the team, if not in the league, for the first 6 games, and he had a bad game.
Dark horse defensive player of the year candidate.
Yeah, but I don't care if you're the best player in the league or the worst player in the league. The shit I read, he was the bigger person and didn't post the individual's Twitter handle or name, whatever. But some of the shit that was posted on that stuff is absolute. There's no fucking excuse for any of this shit. And like I said, I am fucking enraged and embarrassed that we have somebody in the fan base that is that big of a piece of shit.
The thing that upsets me most right now about that is that not only is it crap that this person is spewing out of their mouth, but it reflects badly on the entire fan base.
Yeah, it does. Yeah,
We're not fucking Philly here.
No, it's out on some people on. Isaiah Rogers had clipped it, and some other people had reposted it on Twitter X. I'm not going to repeat what was some of the shit was said, but I mean it. I don't really know what to say on it other than if I saw this guy, I'd probably punch him in the fucking face.
I think we should all line up as Vikings fans and each take a turn punching him in the face.
Yeah,
But
it's completely fucking uncalled for, and you should be fucking ashamed of yourself.
and then the day after all the backlash, the guy comes back and apologizes.
Yeah, oh yeah, maybe I overstepped my bounds. No, you're a fucking piece of shit.
Right.
Shut the fuck up and get the fuck off social media if you're going to be that kind of an asshole.
Absolutely.
We don't need that fan base, and if you happen to be that person and you're watching our show, get the fuck off. Block us, get off of here, because I don't want somebody like that associated with this show either.
Yeah, and exactly. Should be banned. Should not be allowed to attend games. Yes,
it is
Kurt.
Fucking uncalled for. It is a game that you have. It is not, at the end of the day, is not going to really affect your life one way or the other, unless you're some dumb son of a bitch that went and bet $1 million on the fucking game or something like that. These people,
and even in then, that's your own fucking problem,
right? And you have to look. These guys that are playing this game are regular human beings, just like the rest of them. They have families. They have kids that could potentially see this shit.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, but like I said, if that person is watching this show, I want you off my program. Get the fuck out of here.
Right.
Get the fuck out of this fan base. Go. Right. You don't. There isn't a team in this league that deserves to have a fan like that.
No. Unfortunately, that's the society that we live in.
Right. But, and it's unfortunate. Ruby, yeah, you are absolutely correct. You got these fucking keyboard warriors who think they are tough shit and can say whatever the hell they want without repercussions. When in reality,
it's a bunch of racist crap, Norris, is what it is.
Yeah, racist is the nice way. Is the nicest stuff that was probably said. Yeah, exactly, Toons. Yeah, don't post anything on social media that you would not be willing to say to somebody's face.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But unfortunately, that's how a lot of people are.
Oh yeah, because they have the shroud of anonymity that thinks that.
Yep, that's exactly what it is.
So and in reality, it's probably some 130-pound squib that's or 400-pound slob that lives in his mom's basement and has never seen the light of day in the last 3 years. But anyway, all right, I'm going to get off of that now because I'm getting.
Yeah, don't get worked up too much.
I'm getting a little too worked up. I had to vent on it because it's uncalled for and there is no place for it anywhere. Not just in football, not just with the Vikings fan base. There's no room for that shit anywhere.
No.
Yeah, Ryan, you're absolutely right. Anyway, let's move on to some more depressing news. Talking about that game on, we got on Sunday against the Eagles, but I do have a hat tip, copyright Drew Bunting, tasty tidbit here. Turnovers. Since
we've been talking about this since Kevin O'Connell got here,
right? And incidentally, that's where this goes in. Since 2022, which was Kevin O'Connell's first year here, the Vikings have turned the ball over 89 times. Only the Cleveland Browns are worse in that same time span.
That's not a team I want to be mentioned with at any point.
No, but 89 times they've turned the ball over. Absolutely, Ruby, you're correct on that one.
Yeah. Yeah, that
Yeah,
we
I had to just let loose on it, Drew, because it just pissed me off when I saw it. I mean, we've seen this from other fan bases and other players and shit and stuff when they have bad games, or you know, I just, you look at some of the stuff in the past. What would Twitter X have done when Bill Buckner let that ball go through his legs back in the
Oh my God. Right.
or some of some of these the other shit. When Jim Marshall ran the wrong way. I mean,
Yeah.
just think of some of the stuff that the vitriol and shit that would happen now on social media if something like that happened. But yeah, Josh, yeah, we're getting there.
That's what I was giggling at a little bit ago. Yeah.
Okay, Norris. Yeah, let's just roll into the recap of the Eagles game.
Oh, I got a question to pose to
Oh,
you and everybody else
yeah.
in the comments before we get into that.
Yep.
I was sitting around, running this through my brain after the game. I mean, how do we go from being the most sought after destination for quarterbacks this season and back into last season, and going into basically quarterback ineptness this season?
Yeah.
Like everybody knew that all this team needed was the guy to lead the fucking charge, and all of a sudden we're looking like the laughing stock of the league right now at the quarterback position.
This is hearkening back to post Kirk Cousins Achilles when we had the Pasternaut and Mullins and Jaron Hall throwing the ball out there.
Yeah, how do you go from being the most sought after team for quarterbacks to being completely inept at that position? Is it play calling? Is there a mixture of that going into it as well, with Kevin O'Connell not setting these guys up for success? Or it just boggles my mind.
And for as admittedly as big of a supporter of Kevin O'Connell as I have been over the over his tenure, there's some stuff that's really starting to get concerning with me on that.
It's some issues that were smaller that have really grown within the last season and a half of football.
Mm-hmm.
So there's some ugly things that are starting to peek their heads out more and more.
Well, we'll start off. I've got a line item here on that Eagles game. They only had 19 called run plays in that game and 48 passing plays.
Dude, we only punted once the whole game.
Yeah.
We had time of possession. That game is one of the most
Well, I said the Eagles
games.
The Eagles begged us to win that game.
Yeah.
They absolutely fucking begged us to win that game, and we refused. And Carson Wentz looked like the fucking rookie who's only played 2 games in his career instead of a 10-year veteran.
And the thing is that this isn't the only time that there's been a team that's begged us to win that where we just weren't able to stand up to the task of doing it.
No. I mean, unfortunately, that it is a recurring theme that's happened for most of the time that I have been a Vikings fan, which is now spanning 40 plus years. But
right.
Yeah, I mean, it's, but looking at Wentz, I mean, we don't have to be, have that discussion any longer about Wentz keeping the job when McCarthy's fully healthy.
No. He shouldn't be keeping the job for tomorrow night. I posted it on our page. In my opinion, Brosmer should be getting the nod here this Thursday. And then going into next week, you switch back to your guy, who you hope to turn into your franchise guy. And you know what? When J.J. McCarthy comes back, you let him play out the rest of the season no matter what happens.
Yep. Ruby, I'm starting to wonder that myself. I always thought that he was going to be the guy that could do this, but there's some of the stuff that he's doing that
It's pure stubbornness, Rhino.
It
It's pure
is. It
stubbornness
is.
on his
It's
part.
stuff that could be excused in year 1, maybe year 2, because it's his first time being play caller and stuff like that. But
This is year 4.
we're in year 4. But yeah, to your point, when McCarthy comes back, which it sounds like, barring a setback, hopefully that'll be next week, after the mini bye, and when we go to Detroit. Yeah, you ride with McCarthy the rest of the season, whether he stinks up the joint or he comes out and
You know what?
plays lights out.
Because at the end of the day, it's a learning process for this guy, as it is any other franchise quarterback coming into the league.
And O'Connell has talked about this, the 10,000 snaps and all this other stuff that he's brought up and so, I'm just putting this out for the fan base because, shit that we just talked about earlier and people losing their fucking shit when a player has a bad game. McCarthy's, when he comes back, is probably going to have some more rough stretches. I mean, I don't expect him now to.
I guarantee it, Rhino. I guarantee you there's going to be rough patches.
I don't expect him to come back in and play, like a 10-year veteran, multiple time All-Pro. There's going to be some learning. And again, decades, the Vikings fans as a collective have said, we got to quit doing this Band-Aid bridge, veteran quarterback stuff. Draft and develop our quarterback.
Right.
And now you've got half of social media out there after 8 quarters with the quarterback that we went to go draft and develop that are ready to pull the plug on him.
Right. This is the first time outside of maybe Culpepper where we went out and got a guy that we would like to mold into a franchise guy. I mean, you got
they attempted it with Teddy Bridgewater, but Bridgewater was never going to be a franchise quarterback.
And like I was mentioning, your Christian Ponders and your Tavares Jacksons as well. But then you got these veterans like Randall Cunningham that didn't end up working out for us at the end. Jeff George, who didn't end up working out for us at the end. Donovan fucking McNabb, who didn't work out for us at the end of the day. Brett Favre, who did not work out for us at the end of the day. We need to find a guy that's our own, that we can make our own and make our franchise guy. Kirk Cousins didn't work out at the end of the day. So
Kirk Cousins barely worked out at the beginning of the day.
Right. Yeah, and that too, Drew. Absolutely. Yeah. Let J.J. McCarthy be J.J. McCarthy,
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, we've kind of seen this in O'Connell a little bit, when we beat Cleveland 2 weeks ago. In his post-game press conference, he was visibly pissed that he had to change his play calling to that short, quick pass and stuff instead of that long developing down the field stuff all the time. He did that, when Dobbs was here, the first game, when they called that basically Sandlot game. I mean, he was freaking fantastic. And then he tried to change him into the quarterback that he wanted, not the quarterback that Dobbs was, and then it fell apart.
Yep. And you know what? A high ankle sprain is not an easy injury to come back from on just 4 weeks.
No,
it really isn't. I think that was the hope.
I mean, when they mentioned 2 to 4 weeks to begin with, that was pretty optimistic. I mean, some, but everybody's different. Every injury is different. You can't say just because Patrick Mahomes sprained his ankle and then played the week later in the Super Bowl that everybody should heal that quickly.
And that's also a different situation, circumstance.
It absolutely wasn't. And I would venture to guess that if we were playing in the Super Bowl the week following the Atlanta game, McCarthy would have played.
Yeah, I would venture to guess the same thing as well. People need to understand that not everybody, and Patrick Mahomes even sat for a season, but they need to understand that a lot of these rookies don't come in and light it up their first fucking year outside of whoever wins the Rookie of the Year award.
Well, look at last year. I mean, the guy everybody wanted, and now is our
Drake May.
Revisionist history right now, basically about the fact that we never really had a chance at Drake May because but
we were going to give up the lot for him.
Yeah, we were going to give up the lot for Drake May. We offered at least three number 1 picks, and I've heard up to 4. And then we asked for like a third back in return or whatever it was, and they told us to get bent. So
need to be patient with this kid. They need
exactly
fans need to be patient with this kid. And you know
Yeah,
what? A lot of it
exactly.
goes
Well,
back.
right now Lamar Jackson's been out for what, 4 or 5 weeks now. He's just starting to
Perfect
practice
timing
again
here.
now.
People need to be patient with this. This is a new thing for a lot of Vikings fans
Jaden
about bringing in a franchise guy.
Yeah, Jaden Daniels is out for the second time this year now with an undisclosed another injury, leg injury of some sort. They just announced he will not play this weekend either. So,
and I'm not buying into this whole, well, JJ McCarthy can't stay healthy. No, I'm not buying into that quite yet. And you know what? A lot of people were saying last year, had he not been put on IR, he could have came back in November or December.
And that's the thing everybody looking at. They went the cautious route with him and did the full surgery. They could have done the trim, and he could have been back in 4 weeks.
And you know what? We all sprain ankles. I could fucking walk outside, step off the step wrong, and sprain my ankle.
Yep.
So
yeah, Norris, you're absolutely right. I mean, fucking Abe. 2 months ago, I tripped over a frickin' my wife's little floaty inner tube in the boat, and I fell, and I did something to my ACL. It still fucking hurts.
You probably sprained it, man. I've bent over to pick something up
I know
so I can throw my back. So
you're absolutely right on that. It's that goddamn, it's that instant gratification society. If you aren't Tom Brady, after 5 minutes of playing, then you fucking suck. It's
and people need to look at it this way. We might not make the playoffs this year with JJ McCarthy, but you know what? He needs those reps. He needs those 10,000 snaps to really get in the fieldings. And if we do make the playoffs, yay! Thank God we made the playoffs. But people need to temper expectations down a little bit now and let this guy learn.
And I mean, we were guilty. We were guilty of it. In the preseason too. We bought into the hype. And got.
But that still might cash itself in, Rhino.
It might, yeah. We get the second half of the season. McCarthy may, the light switch may flip on, and he becomes the guy he was at Michigan.
Right.
I still believe that light switch will flip at some point in time. It's just not quite there. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Ruby, on that. And that's, case in point, early in the game last week when we got down inside the 5-yard line, it was 2nd and 1. We threw the ball
so
3 fucking times. No, give the ball to Jordan Mason, run it behind that 6'7" fucking center. Yeah, Peyton Manning had 25 interceptions his rookie year.
Exactly. People do not understand that it takes time for these kids coming in.
And that, I mean, people out know, waxing poetic about, the good old days of Sam Darnold and everything else. Sam Darnold was hot ass until he got here.
Right.
Then he was good for most of the season.
People forget why we let Sam Darnold go. Let's see what he does for Seattle when it comes down to the
because what he's doing for Seattle right now is what he did for us during the regular season.
This is why we do a show together, Rhino. Exactly.
Yeah.
What he did, he's doing the same thing that he did for us last year. And like I've been telling people on social media, wait to see what he does when it matters the most.
Right. Because you look back, the Detroit game when it was for the number 1 seed and home field advantage throughout the playoffs. 2 a.m. Taco Bell shit his pants after drinking all night. And then he followed it up by doing it again the following week.
Right.
Those 9 sacks that he took against the Rams, 6 of those, he held the ball for over 5.5 seconds.
There were some times where he held the ball for over 8 seconds right now. There's people wide open. When you go to the red zone,
we broke down a couple of those plays. In that one play, he held the ball for, I think it was 7.5 seconds. And there were no fewer than 6 different occasions when he had a receiver either wide open or breaking open that he could have thrown to. And he ended up taking a sack on it.
But rolling back to what you were saying earlier, how do you not run on 2nd and short, 3rd and short, 4th and short.
Now,
And
to be
you pass
fair,
the
we did
ball
score a
every fucking
touchdown on
time.
the 4th down play, but then we had the bullshit holding call on Brandel that called it back.
Which lost him his job at center as well.
Yeah, because it sounds like that Juergens might get the start this week.
Well, you know what? In Juergens' defense, he looked pretty good coming in relief of Brandel there. I thought he played all right. So,
yeah, I mean, we got a little maybe got a little overzealous on. Again, I'm not going to write Brandel off as a center.
Me either. No, I'm still open to seeing what he has. That was a bullshit holding call. That was him slapping arms away. How do you call holding
that was not a holding call, but
no.
Again, there were some definite horse shit penalty or calls in that game, but I'm not going to sit here and blame the refs because
yes, Drew. And you know what? We had an example of that with Carson Wentz on a few occasions this weekend. A wide open ham for a touchdown. A ball at the
Jordan Addison 3 fucking times. That one that he did connect with that Addison caught falling out of bounds. If he'd have hit him right, that's a touchdown.
I was going to hit, Rhino. That was the next one. Streaking down the sideline, wide open. Nobody within 10 yards of him. You nail that you nail that throw and he's gone. He's still running today.
And then you have that one that they did the little flare when he come out, in motion out of the backfield there. He missed him by 4 yards off to I could have hit that pass.
And then the one to Hammer, that was his first read, looking right at him, seeing he's wide open, double clutching, and then taking a fucking sack. So, an elite quarterback is going to make that play every time, and that's not at all close to what Carson Wentz is at that stage in his career.
No, and stuff like that we saw is why Carson Wentz is a backup quarterback who has been with 6 different teams in the last 6 years.
Ever since he tore up his ACL, he has not been the same quarterback.
No, he's not the same quarterback he was at North Dakota State. He's not the same quarterback he was in 2017 with the Eagles.
Yeah, his first 2 years in the league. And like I mentioned earlier, during the game this weekend, if it was Denny Green coaching this team, he would have pulled Wentz out and he would have thrown Brosmer out there.
Yeah, Brosmer.
They needed a spark. They needed a spark on offense, and it wasn't coming from Wentz at all on Sunday.
No. I wish I knew, Drew. Like I said, the guy that I'm watching play football now is not the guy that I watched play for 4 years in college and the guy I watched for 2 years with the Eagles.
Consistency is horrible with Wentz. Consistency.
It is.
He did have a few good plays in the game.
He has the flashes to show that he has the talent and the capability to be a very good quarterback.
But it's up and down,
But then he goes fucking turbo Nick Mullins the next fucking play.
Yes.
At least Mullins was entertaining.
Yeah.
And I say this with all due respect to Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz is a great guy. He's, good person, great charitable, all this other stuff.
Yeah, I agree with that, right? No, for sure.
So, because I don't want to, the rant I went on earlier, and I don't want to drift towards or let people think that we're drifting towards that kind of stuff with Wentz. But
right. Well, when it came down to crunch time with Wentz, and you have him throwing balls to Jefferson that make you completely embarrassed. I mean, how many times did he didn't even give Jefferson a chance to make a play on those balls that he used to, especially towards, like I said, towards the end of the game when we needed that touchdown. The ball that I bet he threw 5 or 6 balls to Jefferson that were just completely uncatchable.
Well, and then that touchdown that was overturned and not to Hawkinson. If he'd have thrown a decent ball, that wouldn't have been a problem.
Right. And you know what? What an amazing athleticism on Hawkinson's part to try to make that catch and the effort there. But you know what? Effort doesn't get you points.
And I still don't know that there was enough to overturn that. Really, there was enough to overturn that.
I'm not going to say that was a catch.
I'm not saying it was, but I'm not. But I'm also saying that I don't know that there was enough evidence to overturn it.
Yeah, I don't think it was a catch.
I think it should have stuck with what the play call was on the field. If they'd have called it incomplete originally, then it should have stayed with that.
I think it could have went either way, honestly. But the ball did bounce. He was not able to control it through the complete action, and I seen that. And yes, am I mad that I would have? I don't know. I am mad about it.
At this point, nobody knows what a fucking catch is anymore, anyways.
So. Right.
I don't know.
But yeah, that game was winnable. We could have walked away with a
Yeah.
ugly win, but a win's a win. At the end of the day. So they were, like you said, they were begging us to beat them throughout the
Yeah.
entire game. Look at the time of possession. We only punted once. What the fuck,
Right.
man?
This exactly right there, Drew. And
we did pretty well on penalties this weekend too, and still weren't able to make anything of it. I think we only had 2 penalties against us the entire game.
Yeah, but then we had the turnovers that killed us. That pick 6 basically was the difference in the game.
And that was ugly. Ugly.
It was very ugly.
And
but anyway,
just a heave on 3rd down, which was basically a punt there.
Yeah,
but
anyway, we've been ranting about the Eagles stuff. You got anything else you want to hit before we move on?
No. It sucks that we lost that game and that we could have came away with at least an ugly win, but
coulda, woulda, shoulda, but didn't. Yeah,
right.
All right. So with that, let's shovel.
I do have a couple of tidbits here before we do go to the Chargers game, and it's nothing about the Eagles. It kind of ties into what we're about to talk about.
Okay.
We haven't won a road game on Thursday night dating back 47 years. It's been 47 years since we've won a game on the road on Thursday night. But Carson Wentz is also 7-0 on Thursday nights.
So something's got to give.
It will be interesting to see how this plays out.
Yeah, Drew, they gave it away, plain and simple.
And you know what? I think that leash on Wentz, if he comes out and throws a pick or 2 in the first half, I wouldn't be surprised if KOC throws out Brosmer, but maybe not. That stubbornness is there. But I think I would hope to imagine that the leash on Wentz is really short this week. So, yeah,
I guess we'll see. Reminiscent of Jaron Hall, yeah, I kind of will equate it to the Kyle Sloter syndrome.
Yeah.
Everybody saw Sloter in preseason games and deemed him to be the second coming. And
exactly, this is common sense thinking right here.
Yeah,
absolutely. And I've been going back and forth with my brother, who's also a Vikings fan, of course, about that. Not like I said, not every very seldom are quarterbacks that come out of the college system successful their first year in the league and going forward. And then the ones that usually are successful that first year get figured out that second year, and they kind of can start that downward trend.
Jaden Daniels is a prime example from last year. I mean, he was great for the second half of last year, and this year, of course, he's dealing with injuries, which was something we talked about in the draft class last year about, the way his game style is that, was he going to be able to hold up? But I mean, injuries happen, and there's a lot of injuries going. I mean, you look out there right now. Lamar Jackson's been out since week 1. Brock Purdy is out in San Francisco. I mean, San Francisco.
It's not like McCarthy has a history of injuries prior to coming into the NFL.
No,
at all. So, yeah, I look for McCarthy to come back and pray to God that he can finish the year healthy and learn along the way. And if he brings us to the playoffs, which is a tough task to ask right now, especially with the schedule that remains, all the better. If not, take some sort of semblance in the fact that he's learning and that he's going to get better.
Show improvement. Show that, the faith that a large chunk of the fan base and the coaching staff and everybody else has in him is legitimate and that he can do. And I believe that he can.
I believe that he can too. He's the guy that we all wanted, at the end of the day. And there's a reason why we wanted him.
Right.
So that McCarthy that we've seen in college and the way that he played will eventually come around. I believe it's just the speed of the game. And that's normal for a lot of these young guys coming into the league.
But, to Drew's point earlier, you can help him by letting him play a little out of structure. Let
Let
him
him play
improvise.
like himself. Let him be himself.
Right.
Yes.
Let him improvise. Let him go out
He
and
is
do
very much an improv quarterback who's
yeah.
able to make plays out of nowhere.
Yeah, I mean, we've kind of made this comparison before. He's got some Brett Favre in him. He's got that kind of stuff, where he's just going to go out and, there's a gunslinger in there,
Right. And I'm not saying
but
that
it's
he's Patrick Mahomes, but he's got a little bit of
no.
Patrick Mahomes to him too, as far as making plays off script. So
Yeah, and he's got the athleticism and the mobility to do, to be able to do that kind of stuff. We just got to let him do it.
exactly. And this is coming from two fans and Drew and Ruby that have watched his entire college career.
Yeah.
So I mean, for him to fail at the next level, it's going to be completely because of the organization not letting him flourish as he should.
Yeah.
Or just patience. You gotta have patience with these kids.
Right. But on the flip side too, and we saw this in the first two games when McCarthy did play, that it almost seemed like Kevin O'Connell was trying to, they had the training wheels on him. They were trying to hold stuff back because they were almost afraid to let him be himself out there.
I mean, and as much as they were banking on McCarthy being ready, was KOC even ready for McCarthy to take the field, as this young kid? I mean, were the jitters there with KOC as well? I mean, when you can't get a play call in on time, that says a lot too.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's some to that, Kurt, too. And we know McCarthy is a winner, and he's got that. I mean, that's the sad thing is Wentz was a winner, he's won it. I mean, it's FCS, it's not FBS, but still, the guy won 3 national championships in college. But it just something happened to Wentz after he got hurt, and he's never been the same since.
Right.
Right. And I equated this back at that point in time after that when he came back is when Wentz was in college, and like I said, it's FCS level. He was so much better than most of the people he was playing against. He could just rely on his pure athleticism and that stuff and not have to worry about necessarily the intricacies and technical
It's kind of like with
aspects
Trey
so
Lance
much.
as well, as we've seen. So
Yeah, but now when he got to the NFL and people figured him out, plus he lost some of his mobility with that injury, he's struggling since then. I think that's a lot of it.
right.
My opinion, but that's kind of what I think. I'm pretty sure it's next week, Gary.
Yeah, I'm almost positive it's going to be
I mean,
against
O'Connell even said earlier this week that if the game, if we were playing on Sunday instead of Thursday, that there's a
McCarthy would
good
be
chance
starting.
McCarthy could have played.
And this is a mini bye week. I mean,
Yeah.
as well. So,
Yeah. So I would look to see McCarthy next Sunday against the Lions.
Absolutely.
So anyway, let's roll into the Chargers stuff here, and we'll roll through that kind of stuff.
You know what? The season's not over either. People need to keep watching the games. As painstaking as it was to watch last Sunday.
Yeah.
We're not out of it. The NFC is wide open. Let's just start winning some games for fuck's sake.
And like I said,
I mentioned it last week, Rhino. The Philly game concerned me a lot more than this Chargers game that we got coming up. I have a lot more faith in us being able to win this Chargers game than what I had in us being able to go beat a Philly team reeling, and last year's champs. So that Philly team is a good team. It is a good team.
But as badly as we played, we should have beaten them.
Yes, 100%. Which is what shows you that we could hang with anybody. It's just fucking sealing the deal.
Yeah. Now the Chargers, coming in here, they've got their own problems. Their offensive line is kind of in shambles. They had
When is this fucking defensive line gonna show up of ours? I'm getting so fucking sick of being right there and just not getting home. Gernard has had it happen to him numerous times this season.
and I'm not so concerned. Everybody's talking about Dallas and Andrew Van Ginkel out again this week. That's concerning. I'm
Right.
really starting to get worried about that with the neck injury. It's
We'll see what happens after the mini bye week.
It's the Danielle Hunter tweak thing all over again here.
Yes, it is.
But Dallas Turner and Jonathan Gennard they're way up there in pressures. They're just not getting home with the sacks. I mean,
and it pisses me off. Figure it the fuck out.
I think Gernard still only got one sack, doesn't he?
Yes. It's mind-boggling to me with the guys that we brought in on offensive line and defensive line and how they are not showing up on game day.
The biggest disappointment to me so far is our supposedly upgraded defensive front. Jonathan Allen and Javon Hargrave have been almost non-existent since like week 1.
Yeah.
I mean, Levi Drake Rodriguez is ranked higher than both of those guys.
And I give him props for grabbing that brass ring when it was presented to him,
Right.
But man, I'm getting so sick of this. So close, should have had it bullshit. Fucking wrap up the quarterback and bring him down.
Well, speaking about wrapping up, breaking up, Ivan Pace Jr. did not play a single defensive snap last week.
We've seen that coming the last few weeks. We've mentioned it numerous times on the show.
And now I saw some rumblings today that
What's this?
He's questionable. He's not out. He had to have a little bit of stuff done to his knee this week because of playing the full game last week. He had some swelling or something, the way it sounded.
God, this offensive line has just been in flux all fucking season.
Right. So Darisaw is not out. He's questionable. And it may be trending to him not playing, but if it is, it's like a 1 week thing. But that means we put who do we put back out at left tackle? Do we put Brandel out there? Or do we got to put, because.
No, I don't. I do not regret getting rid of Harrison Phillips. That is not the problem here. That is not the problem here at all, I believe.
No, the problem is just the guys that we brought in to generate interior pass rush are not generating interior pass rush. And Harrison Phillips never did that either.
Right. And we stopped the run. We did what we needed to do last week against the Eagles. Right?
Yeah, Barkley didn't beat us, and that's what we said that they had to do in order to win that game was to keep Barkley in there. But
then we made Jalen Hurts look like the fucking next coming of Joe Montana.
Right.
He had an MVP-like game against our defense.
I don't even know that it was MVP. He did enough.
He missed 4 passes the whole game.
Yeah. But I mean,
it was over 350 yards and 3 touchdowns.
But another thing, Jeff Okudah only played 11 snaps.
Who's been a bitch all year? Put McLaughlin in.
And 2 of those 11 were the 2 big 3rd and long conversions: the 3rd and 15 to Devonta Smith, and the 3rd and 13 to AJ Brown. That.
And a lot of it is Flo's play calling at points, too. I don't like to call out Flo a lot because he does a pretty damn good job with that defense, but leaving Isaiah Rodgers all by himself on A.J. Brown with no help in a gotta-have-it moment over the top, you can't be doing that to your players. Isaiah Rodgers cannot play all 4 fucking cornerback positions, or all 3, the nickel and the 2 outsides. He can't play all fucking 3 of them.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, Norris, I agree. Trying to find it. And, it's what seemed like forever. The Vikings were great at that. You had the purple,
Williams is a hell of a player.
You had the purple people eaters. Then you had Keith Millard and Al Noga, and then you got John Randall, and then you had the Williams Wall, and you had, for the longest time, you always had.
Herbert doesn't scare me. I don't know what it is, but there's just something about him that does not scare me. Jalen Hurts makes me more worried than what Herbert does. So
yeah, I mean, but to be fair, Lad McConkey is really coming into his own as a wide receiver down there.
Johnston's actually starting to come around too as well.
Who?
Johnston.
Quentin Johnson. Yeah, he was
And
garbage
then you got
last
old
year.
reliable. And you got old reliable down there as well. And Keenan Allen back.
Keenan Allen back in
Chargers.
in the powder blue. Yeah.
Yeah, I love me some Jerry Ball. You know, Fat Pat and Kevin were actually at the game this past weekend.
Were they?
Yes, they were.
Yeah, but looking at that defense, I mean, they have a decent defense, but it's not anything that we can't
Carson
overcome.
Wentz can beat this defense as long as he plays a good game, a decent game at quarterback. Carson Wentz.
What we need Carson Wentz to do is play a game like he played against the
be your
Bengals.
typical, what people like to call game manager.
Game manager. If he can be a game manager in this game and not do something fucking stupid, we can win this game easy.
If he can play like he played against the Browns, where a lot of them went to game planning in KOC.
Yeah, if you go with those short, quick passes and stuff like that.
And those out routes have been there all season. Those out routes have been open all season for us.
Yeah, this is a very good point, Drew, on that. Herbert, he's got a little Roethlisberger to him in that kind of sense where he's...
Funny, I was just going to say that as well. Yeah, Big Ben.
Yeah. But, looking at the injury report, though, Vikings already have 2 guys that have been declared out. C.J. Ham with a hand injury. So he comes back, plays 1 game, and now he's out. And Van Ginkel already ruled out again.
They might as well put Gink on the fucking IR, the short-term IR.
That there's some of this, and I saw this, because somebody brought that up about why didn't they put McCarthy on short-term IR with the, being more than 4 weeks. Well, it's not unlimited. You only get 8 of those for the season, and we've already used 6 of them. So so that's why McCarthy never went on, and that's why Van Ginkel hasn't gone on, because if you run out of those 8, then you put somebody on IR, they're done for the year.
Yeah.
And the hope is with Van Ginkel is he's going to be able to come back here at some point, and of course McCarthy be back next week, hopefully. So,
and hopefully it's not something that's going to linger with Gink throughout the season, especially if we start making a push. It's not something that's going to linger where you got him 1 week and then you don't know if you're going to have him the next week.
Right. Well, as it sits right now, we've had him for 1 game and 8 snaps. So, yeah, Drew, this is exactly my
especially
my
at his age.
Yeah, he's not a spring chicken anymore. He's right at about 30. He's like 30, 31, maybe? Somewhere in there. Yeah. And the sad part about it is, last year he had such a great season that, we extended him and gave him a bigger contract and stuff this year because he was vastly underpaid for last year. Now this year he's played 1 game.
Right. Well, he's been in 2, but played 1 full game.
Yeah, 1 game and 8 snaps. Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, he had 2 sacks in the 8 snaps he had in that.
Right.
It's pretty sad that the guy that's only played 1 game this year is leading the team in sacks.
That is a nice little tidbit.
Well, actually, I think Redmond might be leading the team in sacks, but doesn't he have like
Redmond
3?
Is an animal. Redmond's a fucking animal.
Jalen Redmond has been a absolute gem to this point, but.
So what do we need to do to beat the Chargers on tomorrow night?
Yes, that's a very good thing. Well, what are your keys, Lance, to winning this game tomorrow night?
I really haven't had time, to be honest with you, to think about it because I'm still digesting, being it's a short week.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't let Herbert take control of the game, for one. You need to get up. You need to get after Herbert and make his life miserable in the backfield there. Like I said, we're getting to the quarterback. We're just not getting home, and that's what we need to start doing is getting home, wrapping up, bringing down the quarterback. I don't care. I don't care what you got to do, but if you're right there, fucking grab him. Yeah, score more points, guys. That's a great way to win games.
Right.
And then Wentz has got to settle down. He's got to settle down. You need to get him into a rhythm to where he can manage the game and run. run in the red zone. It doesn't
Mhm.
have to be cute. It doesn't have to be cute to get into the end
Yeah,
zone.
we don't have to run the wildcat every time, like we did. Like, no, just go out and play big boy fucking football, line it up, and run it up the gut. Get that 1 yard. If your offensive line can't get you a yard in 2 or 3 tries,
Right.
then you just will fucking pack up your tent and go home.
Right. The thing that sucks the most is that the talent is here. It's got to be coaching. It's got to be a big part of it, I think, as far as
Yeah.
game planning and it goes as well, because the talent is here on paper. So, I don't know. Make sure you make Herbert's life a living hell. Don't let Omari and Hampton have a coming out party against us.
Well, he's injured, so he's not going to be.
Oh, good. Good. Well, that's good. That's why we have both of us here, so you can correct me if need to be.
Yeah, I know
But
their starting running back right now is Kamani Vidal. Hassan Haskins was their backup. He will not play this weekend.
Drew, not even a part of not even on the show, but helping us out here. This is great. Worst team versus the run in the NFL the last 3 weeks, and then pound that fucking ball, which will also help out Wentz and calm him down. When you can get chunks like 6 or 7 yards on first down, that goes a long way in helping this team. So,
And
it
it looks like there's a very good chance Aaron Jones might be back this week.
He's a questionable this week, yes. And it just comes to me when it comes to winning this game. It's how does Carson Wentz rebound from last weekend is what it comes down to when it's all said and done. How does he rebound after that Philly game? So
yeah, if he plays like he did last week, we lose this game. If he plays like he did against the Bengals, we win.
No, I said like he played against the Bengals. Our Browns were winning this game if we can get that type of quarterback play out of Carson Wentz.
Yeah, Gary, this is a very good point too, Gary.
Yeah. Yep. Steven's going to be there. The Chiva, yeah. He's going to be there, and he's already told me that most likely it's going to be a 70-30 Vikings crowd. So
yeah, which will help. I mean, what else you got? Any other keys or?
Not that I can think of off of the top of my head, unless I can play off of yours a little bit here too. So
yeah, and mine are a lot the same. Get to Justin Herbert, because Herbert is going to be the one that's going to beat you here. And he's fully capable of doing so. Like it was brought up, he threw for almost 400 yards last week or whatever it was. But he's also one that if you start getting him rattled, he'll make a mistake.
that's just
He'll
right there.
throw a
Yes.
pick.
And they do have a hell of a good field goal kicker as well, and Dicker.
Dicker the kicker, yeah.
Yeah, he's a damn good kicker. So, I mean, look for them to establish the run because it's the Harbaugh way. But it's coming down to.
But again, if you allow freaking Kamani Vidal to run wild on you again,
well, we let fucking Gainwell do it to us.
That's true.
So,
but to Drew's point a little bit ago, the Chargers are 22nd against the run, and they've been the worst team in the league the last 3 weeks against the run.
Let Jordan Mason get 160
that
yards.
Sounds like a perfect Jordan Mason game. Plus,
if Aaron Jones comes back,
yeah, you get him mixed in there. Yep, exactly right, Gary. But you got to get home to him. You can't, like Lance was talking about earlier, you can't just almost get there and let him get the ball out.
And that's the way it's been all season. We've almost got there. We need to start closing that gap.
Yep. It's just we've been a step slow, it seems like.
Especially with Bernard. I mean, he's right there. A lot of the time, he's just not finishing the play. That's why you run it, Drew. We've been talking about it. You know this as well as I do. That's why you let Mason get those 150, 160 yards on the ground with 25 to 30 carries.
Bringing the pick thing up, the Vikings have not had a turnover now in 3 straight games. And other than the 3 they had against the Chargers, I think they only have 3 for the season beyond that. But I saw this today. The Vikings have never had 4 straight games without causing a turnover.
Wow.
So
It's something like that just pisses me off because I firmly believe this is on paper, and I know paper teams, whatever, better than the defense we had last year. This is also
yeah,
the 3rd year in the Flores system. Let's get going. Let's get going. The preseason's over, guys. Preseason's over. This is it right here, right now. We need to do something.
well, and this again is a prime thing. We harped on this for the last several weeks, but this is why you have to play your guys in preseason,
Yes. Yes.
especially they treated JJ McCarthy like he was Tom Brady. He went out and played one series and then sat him for the rest of the preseason. No,
Yeah.
the kid needs reps and he needs that getting to his 10,000 snaps, whatever the hell it is. You play him for at least a quarter out of all 3 of those preseason games.
Yep. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. A lot of us knew it going into the season. That rust was there, and it
Oh
was
yeah,
evident.
he hadn't played meaningful football in 18 months.
600 something days.
Yeah.
600 something days, yes.
So, but yeah, that's the biggest thing is get to Herbert, make his life miserable, and run the damn ball against
Get
him
your
because
hands in the air, too. Get your hands in the air on defensive line. If you're not getting
Yep.
home, put your hands up.
Yep. Somebody else can do a Gink 6 if Gink ain't in there.
Right. Let Dallas Turner have a coming out party this
Yeah,
week.
let's get a couple turnovers.
Yes.
And get some interior pressure.
We have no fucking identity on either offense or defense.
But we paid Jonathan Allen and Javon Hargrave a shit ton of money. Go out there and fucking earn it.
I mean, I don't know what this team is right now, along with most of the media and
I don't
and all
think
the
anybody
other fans.
knows what this team is right now.
Who are we? Who are we? What's it going to take for us to win some fucking games?
Yeah, and we're right there, but we can't get over that hump.
Well, if we would have got Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, shut the fuck up. I saw you on with Skull City or whatever it was. I saw that damn comment.
Man, him slurping Rodgers is so hardcore over there. And he's got 52,000 followers, and he just slurps the shit out of Aaron Rodgers, and it just is mind-numbingly fucking just drives me nuts.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, with that, let's move on to the predictions segment, where, of course, we predict not only the Vikings game for the upcoming week, but also our rivals in the NFC North. Detroit Lions on a bye this week, so fuck them. But let's start out with the Chicago Bears at the Baltimore Ravens, Sunday noon.
The Bears are hot right now. They're on fire right now. But is Lamar good to go this weekend or no?
He started practicing. I haven't heard if he's going to play or not.
Okay, and that's a big factor into this game is whether Cooper Rush fucking sucks. He is a horrible backup. Huntley was somewhat of a spark for that team coming in, but he can't throw the ball worth a shit. Yeah, it's an issue. It's an issue. I don't know why we don't run in the red zone. Yes. Exactly.
Yeah. Well, we saw what he could do.
It all goes back to him being stubborn. It all goes back to these fucking head coaches with these huge egos, like Zimmer as well, not being flexible in their philosophy and what they want to do.
Yeah,
don't tell me that you go and you game plan for individual guys that we're facing when the shit looks the same week in and week out.
I mean, Kevin O'Connell with this is starting to trend into Brad Childress kick-ass offense territory here.
Well, Rhino, if we end this season without a playoff berth, his seat's going to be warm going into next season, I believe. I mean, yes, the Wilfs have been really good about letting these guys I mean, we're going into year 5 though too.
Yeah. I
So,
mean, they just extended both him and Kwesi, so I don't know how
well,
hot things are going
extensions
to be.
don't
But
mean shit in this day and age when it comes to the NFL. So you could extend one guy yesterday and fucking fire his ass tomorrow.
yeah,
So,
true. But
um,
anyway,
I honestly believe.
back to the predictions.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
So what
Let's
do you
go
got?
with I want Baltimore to win, but with the role that Chicago's been on, and with Baltimore without Lamar Jackson, this should be an easy game for Chicago to come out with a win. I'm gonna have to go with Chicago here, as much as I hate to say it, and this is very true. Yeah.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. For me, I think it all depends on if Lamar Jackson plays.
I'd
If
love it, Gary. I would love this, Gary, if this was what was the case. But Ben Johnson's got that Chicago team playing really good ball. Seems to have really reeled in Caleb Williams as far as quarterbacking goes, which is saying enough in and of itself.
yeah,
I love it, Drew. I hope not. I
I
hope
mean,
not. I hope because I picked them to
this
win,
is
they don't
all.
win.
It's also in Baltimore,
I
and
hope because I picked Chicago to win that they don't win. To be
yeah,
honest with you, but
I'm
they're
not.
just they're
I'm going.
rolling.
I'm not picking Chicago. I still don't believe in Caleb Williams, and John Harbaugh is a hell of a coach. He's got stuff there, so I think it's going to be a tight game. I think if Lamar Jackson plays, they definitely win.
Yeah,
But even without Lamar, I'm going to give the Ravens a
Cooper Rush is just crap. I just can't. I'm glad we didn't get Cooper Rush.
yeah. But we got Carson Wentz, which
He's a little bit better than Cooper Rush, a little bit.
yeah. Anyway, all right. Then the other game this week, the Green Bay Packers going to Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers on Sunday Night Football.
Aaron Rodgers is not letting Pittsburgh lose this game. I look for Pittsburgh to win this game, and it could be pretty wide open, I believe. But then Green Bay's got the incentive to go out there and just cream Rodgers too, so we'll see. But I look for Pittsburgh to win this one. Green Bay is. I'm still not sold on Green Bay at
No,
all. By
I'm
any
not
means.
either, and I think you're right with the Aaron Rodgers thing. I mean, never underestimate the pettiness and the bitterness of Aaron Rodgers. So I think Pittsburgh wins this game. Pittsburgh is better than I expected them to be this year. I mean, they're
Well, Aaron Rodgers is playing better ball than what a lot of people expected him to play. It's just plain and simple. Call a spade a spade.
but I
He's
mean
playing decent ball.
he's been a good game manager, and they've made their hay a lot of that and that intermediate stuff and the quick throws, which
And he seems to
Roger.
be moving around the pocket a lot better than he was last year as well.
Yeah, well, I mean,
So,
he's older, but he's also 2 years off that Achilles instead of being the year back from it too.
right,
So that does make a difference. But
yeah. I mean, Roger. As much as I hate, I'm not gonna say hate. As
I
much as
just
I dislike the guy, he's playing good football in Pittsburgh right now.
yeah, no, I despise Rogers, and I've never made any secret about it. But yeah, I'm taking the Pittsburgh here as well. So. All right, then the final game, of course, tomorrow night, 7 p.m. on Amazon Prime, Thursday Night Football. Vikings traveling to Los Angeles to take
Detroit's on a
on the
bye this
Chargers.
week.
Detroit's on a bye.
Okay.
All right,
Oh,
Vikings
we're
Chargers.
reeling. We're reeling right now. This is a game that this team should be getting up for and winning this week. If we don't win this week, I don't know what to tell you about this Vikings team right now. But we're reeling. We're what? We haven't won a game since Cleveland. So,
Yeah.
and that's going on a month ago. So we better start winning here. And it would be nice to go. It would be nice to get into the mini bye with JJ coming back against Detroit with a win under our belts.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with the Vikings taking this one. I don't know how close the score is going to be, but the immediacy of the win is much needed right now.
Yeah,
So
I mean, like I said, to the title of the show, we're trending into must-win territory right now. I said this the other day. You know, this 4-game stretch here, we have to go to at worst 2-2 out of there to
right,
have any
right.
chance of playoffs and everything else. We've already dropped one of the 2 losses we could have afforded to have. We got to have a win. We got, the game here on Thursday against the Chargers that is a winnable game if Carson Wentz doesn't do anything stupid. Then we got Detroit
That's a
next
big if.
week, and all bets are off on that. And then we got Baltimore in 2 weeks.
You
Which
play to win every week, but
you
at this
have to.
moment, you got to push for, I believe, at least 10-7. If you're looking at wanting to get into the dance,
10 and
you got to
10 and
push for at
7 will
least
still 10 and
7-7. We'll get
7 will
you
still get you into playoffs, I believe,
right,
especially as wide open as the NFC is right
right.
now.
But with the way we've been playing this year so far, I think right now as a team, you got to be thinking get to 10 wins,
Yeah.
get to 10 wins. So,
And that's still absolutely possible.
right. A win this weekend would surely help.
Yeah.
So, and people forget that we still got 2 games against Green Bay, 2 games against Detroit, a game against Chicago. I think the only games that we have left outside of the division is the Chargers, the Ravens, and the Cowboys,
And the Commanders.
and the Commanders.
And the Commanders might not have Jaden Daniels at that point in time either. So, yeah, Riley, you're right on that. I don't think the Vikings are going to want to do a double dose in European tour anymore.
Yes,
But
this schedule has been rough.
yeah,
Also with Gary here, we gave them offers. They walked away from the offers.
we
Um,
actually gave Daniel Jones a higher offer than what he got from the Colts, but what he got from the Colts was a chance to be the starter, whereas they basically told him here, you're going to be, you'll be McCarthy. This is McCarthy's team, but you'll be the backup.
and that's just the thing.
And
We
it
could
was
sit here,
it ended up being a great move by him so far.
right. I mean, we could sit here all day and mull around about this. Oh, we should have done this. We should have done that. Well, you know what? We didn't do that. Now let's figure out what we can do to win moving forward. And we knew going into this season that we were going to have to develop a quarterback.
Yeah, and the Sam Darnold thing, yeah, okay, he's playing great football right now, and I'm happy.
How does the story end in Seattle?
And
Is what
I'm
I'm
happy for him. But yeah, get back to me at the end of the season and let's see what happens when he gets underneath the bright lights again in the playoffs. Did he learn from last year? Maybe he did. I have my doubts.
I do as well.
And I think when it comes down to it, you're going to see the same Sam Darnold that we saw against Detroit and the Rams last year.
Yes.
Norris, you're absolutely right on that as well, and that's going to be the biggest thing right now is, does McCarthy come in and does he show improvement and does he show that he, has that potential to be the guy, or is it week 17 he's still, God, this kid just isn't getting it, which I don't
Why
think
isn't
it's
he
gonna be.
learning? Why isn't he
Right.
learning? Like when week 17 comes around. But I truly believe you give this guy the right amount of time, the right system, allow him to be himself, and he's going to develop just fine.
Yeah.
Like I said, it took Josh Allen a year and a half to really get a feel for the game.
Mm-hmm.
It took
Yeah.
him 2.5 years to really get his throwing motion down.
Well, yeah, I mean, Josh Allen was awful, and then that game against us, the light switch flipped, and then he became a great quarterback.
Lamar Jackson, it took him a little bit
Lamar
long. I mean,
Jackson was a glorified running back for the first 3
yes.
years he was in the league.
One of the very few cases where you take a guy like Lamar Jackson and make him what he is today.
Right.
And a lot of that is praise to John Harbaugh and being able to do that.
Yeah. No, yeah, he went from a glorified running back to a legit top 5 quarterback in the NFL.
Fucking Aaron Rodgers sat for 3 years. Jordan Love sat for 3 years.
Jordan Love is still mid, but
And everybody knows my opinion on Jordan Love. I think he's trash, but still, it doesn't happen overnight.
no. And like it was brought up earlier, Peyton Manning threw 25 interceptions his rookie year. And I've had this discussion argument with a lot of people. Yeah, you're right, Norris. But if these armchair GMs that on sitting on social media that know more than everybody else who are in the world, most of us would not even know who the fuck Peyton Manning is.
And you know what? A lot of the ones from our fan base ragging on JJ are the ones that didn't want to draft him in the first place.
Yeah, they're
So
the Kyrgyzstan
let's
army
have
or
the
those.
last laugh. That's what I want, Rhino, is the ones that have the last laugh. And the
And
ones
I'm
that
a
I told you
yeah.
so.
And when it boils down to it, I just want to win a Super Bowl. I don't care who the quarterback is. I don't care who the coach is. I don't care who's playing left guard, edge rusher, or who's pouring the fucking Gatorade on the
And I
sidelines.
don't care if we go in the playoffs with a 9-8 record if we can make the fucking Super Bowl and win.
87, we went in with an 8-7 record, and we should have gone to the Super Bowl.
Right. Right. And it's about getting hot at the right time, finding out your identity as a team, and letting it rip.
For the time being, tread water and stay in the race, and then
Yeah,
get
and
your
that's
shit
exactly what we're
together
doing.
and get there.
That's exactly what we're doing. We are not out of it yet.
No, but we need to win this weekend, or it's going to start getting a lot harder.
Yeah.
But with that, we've gone on for over an hour here, and I have to be up at 5:30 in the morning. So I think we're gonna call her a night, unless you got anything else you want to hit quick before we.
No, I think we hit everything.
All right.
More than once.
So with that, thank you guys as always in the chat. Great conversations, great discussions. Some old friends joining us tonight that haven't been around for a while. We appreciate Ruby, Drew, Norris, Ant. Even though Ant came in late, he's better late than never. Riley, Norris, got some new faces in here as well. So appreciate all you guys coming in. Filipino fan club stopping by to say hi. All of that. So thank you guys again for the great conversation, great discussion. This is why we are the most interactive pregame show on Viking social media, because we do this show for you guys and with you guys, and couldn't do it without you guys. So
absolutely agree with all of that. Yes.
So with that, again, thank you all, and take us out of here, Brunswick.
Thanks for coming up. Thanks for coming and watching the show on a late Wednesday night, going into a game on Thursday. Let's go out and win this game. Let's find our identity, and let's start to click and get JJ back in there next week. I'm excited for that. So with that being said, we'll see you all next Saturday, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. We'll recap the Chargers game and look forward to the Detroit game. I love all you guys out there in the comments. Like Rhino said, we couldn't do this show without you guys. Millie and Aubrey, if you're out there watching, Dad loves and misses you. Skull.
Have a great week, everybody.